Hello everyone, and welcome to my next video, which is not actually for Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia. I'm actually making a quick sort of overview video and gameplay showcase for Tales of Crestoria, which is what I've been spending a fair amount of time playing recently. It's only just recently released. I say only recently, it's actually been out for about 12 days because I've been playing it since its release, and I've just got the 12-day login bonus. So, you know, it's still a relatively new game. And it's the latest mobile game in the Tales of franchise by Bandai Namco. Now, I am an absolutely huge fan of the Tales of series. I've been playing it since, well, I suppose if you want to get technical, you can say that my first Tales game was Tales of Fantasia that I played on like a SNES ROM, like a translation way back when. But I actually, well, funnily enough, I only really got into the series with Tales of Symphonia 2, which was released on the Wii, because it came at a time when a Wii was the only console, in fact the only electronic entertainment I had access to, and I was kind of starved of RPGs on the platform, so I decided to pick it up, and it was like, yeah, it was Tales of Symphonia 2, Dawn of the New World, and it was a little unconventional to start with the sequel, which I didn't initially realise was a sequel, I think, at first, until I actually, of course, played the game and I found out more about it, and then I went back and I played the original Tales of Symphonia, which is a much superior game in my opinion, and in fact in most of the community's opinion. But regardless, I don't hate Symphonia 2. It's, you know, it's a fun little game, but Symphonia, the original, is obviously definitely much better in my opinion. And then I went on to play pretty much most of the localized games in the series. I went to play Grace's F on the PS3, which I still to this day think has the best gameplay out of any Tales game that's been released. In fact, I used to watch a lot of combo videos online and a lot of like solo videos of these crazy players that would play on the hardest difficulty, and they do perfect like one-frame dodges on every boss attack and just do these ridiculous like 100+ hit combos, and it was very inspiring and it made me want to get better. So I played the chaos difficulty and I got shat on numerous times until I got a lot better myself. I'm still nowhere near the level of some players, but you know, I'm decent enough. And then obviously I played Exilia and Exilia 2, as evidenced by the fact that I've got Jude and Mila on my home screen. I really love the Exilia games, especially Exilia 2. I really enjoyed the combo system in that game, because I thought it was the best hybrid between like a Team Symphonia game and a Team Destiny game, because, you know, you could extend your combos as long as you introduced different elements into the combo. And one thing I really like in most RPGs is like Magic Knights and Magic Swordsmen, and Mila is probably... Mila is also voiced by Miyuki Sawashiro in the Japanese version, but unfortunately it's not subtitled. But yeah, she was the most fun I've had playing a Magic Knight in most games, and in fact, at least in most of the Tales franchise. In fact, I don't think there has been someone as good as her that's ever been released. Yes, even more than Zelos and Kratos in Symphonia, a lot more than Richard in Tales of Graces. I used to love playing Mila, and that's why she was my pick in this game for the starter ticket. Yes, you actually do get to select an SSR, or in fact any character, but obviously it's very recommended that you pick an SSR character. You know, you can pick any character you want for starting the game, which is amazing, except the main protagonists. You have to roll those. So I've been having a lot of fun with it. The graphics and the animations are amazing. Most of the characters look as though they've been lifted straight out of the source material, and in fact, even for characters that were in previous games that have not been released in the West, like games like Tales of Destiny DC, for example, and Tales of Rebirth, like, how long have I been waiting for translation patches for the English versions of those goddamn games? Like, I know the translators have lives, and I know that translation patches aren't exactly 100% legal, so, you know, please don't take it that I was going to download them or anything. It's not as though I've been religiously following the blogs that have, like, had botched translation projects and restarted translation projects. Please, if anyone on the Destiny team is out there listening to this right now, all, like, you know, 0.1% chance of that ever happening, but please, I'm begging you to finish it. I will pay you money. I can't speak Japanese, I can't do any sort of assembly coding, so I wouldn't be able to help you out, but I really want a bloody Western English version of Destiny DC. But it's the next best thing in this game, because I can't actually use Leon Magnus, and his animations are really well done. You know, his voice lines sound basically, they've obviously been re-recorded, but it's very, very faithful to the original material. So as a fan of the Tales series, if you like it at all, definitely check this game out. It has a lot of issues at the moment. because it is actually a simultaneous worldwide release in both global and Japan. And naturally, most mobile games that make it over to the West have been out in Japan for like 9 months, in Opera Omnia's case a year, maybe 2 years, so they've had a lot of glitches and bugs that have been ironed out, whereas this game is definitely in its infancy. There's a lot of bugs going around, you know, there's a lot of glitches and stability problems. Like I'm playing it on emulator. I'm using BlueStacks, and I have it set to 1 processor core, because if I don't set it to 1 core, it crashes almost constantly, but I set it to 1 core and it's actually pretty smooth. And I know that some people have performance problems with this game on their phones, but in fact, it's not perfectly smooth on my phone either, but I run it on emulator and I can get it to 60 FPS more or less constantly. It actually performs really well on my PC for some reason. I know I do have a pretty good PC, so that probably has something to do with it. But yeah, the story in this game is really good as well, in my opinion. In fact, I would go as far as to say that if this sort of scenario, if this setting was used in a mainline console release, it wouldn't feel out of place. Obviously, there are some limitations, because it is sort of bound by the mobile format, so you don't sort of get free roaming on a field or anything. You know, it is still just the skip backgrounds with the 2D artwork, and it's kind of like a visual novel sort of style of thing, but it's still definitely an interesting story. It gets very dark very quickly. Of course, most people who play Tales games know that they start out seeming very cute, and then they definitely take a trip into Crazy Town at some point. This game definitely goes from 0 to 60 a lot faster than most do. But yeah, definitely check it out if you're interested. Now, it does have a lot of issues, like the stability and glitches and crashing problems, as I've said. And now I have to talk about the gacha as well. I have to call out the elephant in the room, because there is, of course, a swimsuit banner going on right now because it's summer. Not that you would bloody know it. I mean, I'm living over here in sunny old England. I look out the window and it's freaking grey all the goddamn time. We have not had much of a summer at all this year. And of course, all the bloody, you know... all the characters in swimsuits and the scantily clad girls are taunting me from beyond the screen with their amazing weather and other assets. And yeah, I'm just kind of here thinking, okay, so if I was to say, for example, pull for Konono, because she is a wind healer and definitely not for any other reasons, what chances do I have of actually pulling her? So we go over here into the drop rates, and we find that, well, one of the things this game is relatively generous about is that it has a 5% drop rate for SSRs, which is actually pretty good. But then you actually scroll down and you find that the characters that supposedly have a rate up are 0.7% each. So that means that there is more of a chance of pulling an off-banner SSR than there is of pulling either of the featured characters. Now, obviously, coming from a game like Opera Omnia, where you're practically showered in free currency every day, or at least every month, and you can earn enough for guaranteed pities, and you get hundreds and hundreds of tickets from founding summon boards, this game is nowhere near as generous as that. And there is no pity system at the moment, there is no spark system, and the rate ups, in my opinion, are absolutely abysmal. So please, chasing for one of these characters is the domain of the deranged at the moment. If you want them, re-roll for them. Re-roll many times and get as many SSRs on your starting roll as you can, because that is absolutely going to be the best way to do it. Especially because if you're using emulator, one of the things you can do is you can actually re-roll in about 2 minutes by deleting a couple of specific files, which I'm not going to go into in this video, but if you want to search for it, the information is definitely out there. Through a combination of copious amounts of re-rolling, a little bit of whaling, I did actually spend money on this game. I thought I was past spending money on mobile games, but I did spend a fair bit up front, because I do want this game to survive, because despite all the glitches, it does have a lot of potential. And I know that there's been 2 previous mobile titles. There's been Tales of Link, which is now shut down worldwide, unfortunately, and there's Tales of the Rays, which lasted for about a year in global, but is actually still ongoing in JP. Now, Tales of the Rays does actually use linear motion battle system. It is like a fully 3D fighting, a fully 3D battle system like most of the mainline Tales games, whereas this game is a lot more turn-based. In fact, a lot of its mechanics, especially in terms of the raids and in terms of characters having elements and so on, seems to borrow a lot from Grand Blue Fantasy. So if you played GBF, then to some degree you'll feel familiar with a lot of the systems that they've got going on. There is an arena, which does feature PvP. Unfortunately, I can't show it to you at this time because the season's over and it only starts again at 1 in the morning, which I'm definitely not staying up for because I've got work tomorrow. But yeah, I've been finding Arena's relatively fun, but it's a little bit of a mixed bag if I'm going to be honest, because you can come across some players and they're obviously super ultimate uber whales that have got level 100 characters and like a load of mergers and dupes, and they're just way too powerful for you to take out no matter what your strategy is. On the other hand, you meet players with under level characters who are somehow in the same bracket as you and you just completely steamroll them, so it's a bit of a mixed bag. But one of the things I've been having the most fun with, yeah, raids are definitely not fun to me at all. In fact, raids I literally leave on auto battle in order to grind. Like, you know, you get these medals, which for GBF players, you're basically looking at renown pendants right now. It's the same deal. You have to grind raids for ascension materials to uncap your characters to higher levels so that you can level them up even further. And it's not as grindy as GBF, but it's still a hell of a grind, and it's just not very engaging gameplay. And there's a motorbike outside. So I pretty much just leave it on auto and then come back to it later. But the thing I've actually been having the most fun with, outside of the main story, I'm pretty enthralled by the main story scenario. I've finished all the story chapters now. There's a new chapter 5 coming up, I think, sometime soon, TM, according to the official Twitter. It's probably going to be some point next week. But I've been having a lot of fun with the Phantom Tower, gameplay-wise. Now, I'm not going to be doing any summons here, but I've already got what I wanted from these banners. As I say, it did cost me like all of my free currency and some paid currency on top of that. I did finally get Konono, but basically do as I say, not as I do. You know, please don't try chasing for these characters. Anyway, the Phantom Tower. It has 30 floors. I'm at floor 27. I cannot beat this for the life of me. It's going to kick my ass, so I'm not even going to try. But thankfully we do have until the end of August to actually try. So I'm actually going to go down to floor 26 because floor 26, there we go, because I did clear this one. Now it is very probable that I'm not going to beat this because it did take a fair number of tries, but it's going to be probably the best shot I have at giving you a gameplay showcase that isn't literally me clicking the attack button until everything dies. So I'm just going to click engage here. So this is my my fire team that I've been working on. I do actually have a fully awakened Gaius in the backline. He's only level 40 though. Lila's 48. I've got several fire SSRs. You know, I was blessed with fire when I was re-rolling, to be honest. But I did actually start off with Mila. And I did some rolls for Konono, and I managed to get Estelle. I got Yuri on one of my re-rolls as well. I got Luga from an SSR ticket that the game gives you for finishing off some of the challenge missions. I looked into Estelle along the way as well. So I got some pretty good characters. I'm really happy I got Jude and Mila because they're obviously two of my favourites from Exilia. Luke, now long-haired Luke, I am not a big fan of long-haired Luke. I freaking hate the guy in Abyss, but he's actually extremely strong gameplay-wise, so he's earned himself a spot in my fire team. Estelle's just there because she's like the best healer we have at the moment. So again, like Grand Blue, a lot of the endgame content in this game seems like it's going to be geared around having single element teams. In fact, you even have a sub-stone grid. I'm not going to go into details of how Memoria stones work or how team building works because that's a little bit outside the scope of this video, to be honest. But essentially, while in the early game and for all the story mode, you can get away with just throwing all of your strongest SSRs on a single team and just steamrolling through everything. When you get to more challenging content like high-level raids and like the Phantom Tower on the high floors, you're going to want single element teams because all the enemies will be of a single element as well. So this is my fire team. I've got Micella here, who's one of the original characters for this game's story. She's there as my healer. I've got Luke and Reed, who are the damage dealers. I've got Lila, who's for AoE. I've got Gaius because he's cool as shit, and also because he has a pretty nice awaken passive, and Estelle for the healing. So I'm just going to jump into this, and we're going to see how it goes. Hopefully not terribly. I'm probably not going to beat this, I'm going to be honest. But I just wanted to show off some gameplay as well and not just talk at the screen for like, 10 minutes. So let's make sure that our Mystic Art animations are on, which they are, which is good because the last time I tried it I accidentally skipped them. So we're going to start off here and I'm going to be dogpiling on Aegis because on the next turn he'll start charging up one of his Mystic Arts. So what I want to do is I'm not going to be using all of my arts this turn. I'm going to be saving it till next turn. Oh, that's nice. You actually see... if I hold click, then... Oh, okay, it's bugged out already. Sometimes when you hold click, you can sort of see who you're going to target, but that's broken already. For AoE skills, it sometimes shows you when if you hold click, it's supposed to show you like you'll hit this one or this one, but yeah, that's broken as well. So I'm going to save all of my arts for the next turn. I'm just going to do regular attacks on Aegis over here. And just pray that we don't get like focused down and killed straight away. Would always be very nice. So obviously, coming over from a game like Operon, one thing I can't fault this game for is the graphics and the animations. I know some people have some problems with it, but to me it's beautiful. Oh, and Lila just got stuck with Wildfire, which is not good. As a debuff, this basically means that every time anyone on my team takes damage, she takes the same amount of damage. So she might get destroyed. She might not, we'll see. So now he's charging up an art, so he's got this break bar at the top, you can see by the number 2. Basically, if we don't get that down in time, then he is going to use his Mystic Art and he's going to fuck us up. So we want to try and get that down. So I'm just going to use... I'm still going to save my my art with Micella. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm going to use this. I use this one with Luke. Okay, so I don't want to. What I don't want to happen is I don't want to break Aegis on this turn. So I'm actually gonna use some attacks on Vicious over here because we got some lucky crits. It's very key for our damage that we break Aegis on this turn, and Lila needs to stay alive. That's good. Indeed she does. So here I have a choice between healing Lila and healing Micella. I'm probably going to heal Micella because she is an SSR, she's my only healer, and she has a Mystic Art, so I'm going to heal her right now. Because Lila's about to fulfill her purpose. With Luke, this is an AoE skill, so I'm going to target Vicious, and it's going to hit both of these guys on the side. Which is great, so that's charged up his Mystic Art. With Lila, I am actually going to do this AoE skill as well. Excellent. Well actually one thing I could have done is I could have broken him with Reed, which might have been a better idea, because that would have got Reed's Mystic Art up as well. But never mind. So after you break an enemy, they can't act for that turn, and then all your attacks on them will automatically become crits. And also, this game has a combo system. It's not like, obviously, action game Tales combos, but you have a hit counter. And for every 10 hits, the amount of damage your successive attacks deal will go up, which is one of the reasons why AoE skills are so good, because they increase the hit counter by a lot. So I'm just going to have Luke pop his Mystic Art, because that's another 20 hits. Then we can have Micella do hers. Actually, yeah, let's do that. So I don't know what people are talking about when they say this game has bad graphics. Maybe they just have bad devices that can't run it, because this really wouldn't look out of place on a console. At least compared to Operon. Okay, so he's basically dead. Or close enough. Okay, so Lila's Wildfire wore off, which is very nice. Let's work on Micella because she is obviously their healer as well. What's our cooldowns like? Okay. So I'm going to do this turn, but I'm not going to use his Mystic Art yet. And of course, Micella will basically only heal Kanata in this fight, which is really great touch in my opinion for the AI, because if you play the main story, then Micella is definitely a simp for Kanata in the actual story, so it really fits very well in my opinion. So what I want to do here is I want to use the Mystic Art on Micella straight away. And now Luke's Memoria Stone has a passive that lets him break easier. So if I use Fangblade Havoc, he should break her here, and if you break them, that gives you extra overlimit charge, which is via Mystic Art. So went according to Keikaku, no problem. So we could either focus on him. Yeah, in fact, I think I'm going to focus on her to get some more damage, because if Luke survives, then his Mystic Art should absolutely shred the charge bar from Kanata over there. So I'm just going to take this opportunity to get some more hits on Micella. Well, we've got the guaranteed crits. Okay, so what we do is we hit him, go straight into this, and as we see, the charge bar is pretty much finished. Now it would be ideal to let Reed break him, because then we would get extra charge, but I mean Reed's basically dead. But I might do that anyway, just in case by some miracle he survives. And then we can just go in with Micella. Now, do I use the Mystic Art on him, or do I use it on... I'm actually going to use it on Vicious. So we want to get this down. We've seen all the Mystic Art animations at this point, so I'm just going to speed up the animations. We've seen it all before. Yeah, there is a speed up option, because it does get pretty tedious if you just want to play quickly. So Reed's dead, and in comes Estelle. And Estelle is our healer. She's off element, so she'll get hit harder, but let's just heal up Luke, because he is easily our strongest character. Lila has Wildfire, so I don't rate her chances of survival right now, if I'm being perfectly honest. So I don't think it's worth to heal her, I'm just going to heal this on. If by some miracle she does survive, I've got the AoE skill for next turn. Yeah, I didn't think she was going to be honest. Here comes Gaius. Let's use Incineration Wave. So Gaius was a lot of fun to play in Exilia 2, but the biggest problem I had with him is that the only physical damage type he had was Sword, for obvious reasons. So he was a bit of a one-trick pony, but I mean, if this guy wasn't just the coolest Sephiroth bloody sword stance ripoff I've ever seen in the original Exilia, getting to play him in the sequel was really nice. So let's use... I don't think that Luke alone would break that. Actually, let's use Estelle and then go into Luke. I don't know if this will help. There we go. Got some nice gauge charge, and then Aegis is going to use his Mystic Art, and we're basically dead. Well, we're not dead, but I mean he's going to use it no matter what. So hopefully he doesn't use it on Estelle. Okay, that's fine. Do it on Gaius. Okay, so we can rotate back over to Micella. Oh, nice. We have a pretty nice damage setup here, because we've got Luke with his second. We've got Luke with this, and his Mystic Art's about to charge as well. So. Yeah, just just destruction. Let's just try and get her out of the way. And now we switch over to Aegis because he's pretty low. I'll show this in normal speed. Oh, nice. We got a crit as well. Guys, it's got wildfired. That's not good. Oh, come on, Estelle. There he goes. And there he goes. Damn. Come on, Luke. Perfect. Of course, Estelle's Mystic Art is actually the only party healing Mystic Art we have in the game right now. So she's pretty much the queen of heals because she's got first aid and she's got Mystic Art that heals, which is just all sorts of amazing. We might actually have a chance here, you know? Let's just try and focus on fishes. I'm actually just going to ignore Kanata because we can eat a Mystic Art from him. I really want fishes out of the way. You see how Luke just absolutely shreds Kanata's charge bar? That's because Luke's Memoria Stone has a passive that basically increases the break damage dealt to bars. So we will actually be able to stop this from happening. Okay, we're on the home straight. We're doing pretty well. Now Luke really helps, as you can see by that. The way that he just shreds the charge bars, he's definitely the strongest character on my fire team right now. Which, you know, gives me mixed feelings because I really don't like long-haired Luke. I would much prefer the short-haired version, but, you know, I take what I can get. Let's switch over to him. He's basically dead anyway. Okay, we're on the home straight. We're gonna pull it off. I mean, this was 100% planned. Of course, I knew I was going to win, you know, because I'm a professional. Absolutely no doubt in my mind whatsoever. Okay, let's finish it off. There we go. That's floor 25 of Phantom Tower. And that is Tales of Crestoria. That's going to be my my quick update video, showcase, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, definitely if you're a fan of the Tales series, at least give this a try. Please resist the temptation to spend on the gacha because it is a new game, and we do have, you know, better things coming. So if you want a particular character, then just re-roll until you get them. It's the perfect time to do so right now because we've got login rewards as a result of it just being released. You know, we have enough for I think like 23 pulls I think in total. 10 of those pulls are on the premium banner, and there is a method you can use. I'm not gonna describe it here, but if you're using emulator, you can actually root the device and just delete a couple of files, so you can re-roll every 2 minutes if you know what you're doing. So yeah, definitely check it out. I mean, I'm having a lot of fun with it. I'm not sure if I'm going to be playing it in the long term, but at least it's enjoyable for now, and I really hope this game survives and does well, because I never played either of the other Tales games, the mobile games, and I've been waiting for Tales of Arise now for what feels like forever, so I'm looking forward to that coming out. I'm just enjoying this in the meantime. So thanks everyone for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and until the next time, take care and goodbye.